Let's talk about Comcast. And the networks that we work for. Obviously, we are paid by Comcast, so people can take into consideration that
as a salt shaker.
Exactly. But you told me a couple weeks ago when this was first announced, I was skeptical. You said, no, this makes a lot of sense. I got a lot of calls yesterday afternoon, early evening, from a lot of people who don't work for Comcast, who said, no, you don't understand, Joe. This has nothing to do with anything but money. This makes sense for Comcast. The stock's going to go up. This makes sense for the cable companies that are spun off because they want to get as many cable companies together, and they want to build that up and streamline it and figure out how to really make money, even in the age of cord cutting.
Right. So, look, what's happened here in the age of cord cutting is there's a headwind. There's a real headwind that we know about, and that is coming at every kind of linear cable channel in the business. Having said that, currently right now, these businesses, MSNBC, CNBC, produce extraordinary profits, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more so. But that money today is not being reinvested in MSNBC and CNBC and Sci-Fi and USA. It's not. It's going, you could say that it's a Comcast money heaven. And so the question is, if you could take that money that's coming off of these channels and invest it in the businesses as an independent entity, what that business ultimately looks like. Could you use that money to go make other acquisitions? Could you make investments in the business itself? That is the big question. And the markets today don't really allow, meaning investors don't really want Comcast making additional investments in the cable industry because they think it is a tough, challenging business. So if you can put it in its own bucket where it can make those investments, that might make more sense long term and puts a renewed focus on those assets. You know, there's a lot of things going on inside the big Comcast world.
Right.
Peacock is one of them, of course. The cable business is another. And it's not always been clear that these channels have gotten that kind of focus. And so part of this is a focus story as well.
Well, you know, we've been seeing now for 25 years people talking about the death of television, the death of linear television. Everybody writes about it every day. I remember reading one of my favorite business books, Fools Rush In, about the AOL Time Warner deal.
Great
at
book.
AOL, at the very beginning, AOL, they're like, this is the future, and Time Warner bowed down to AOL. And they talk about how quickly that changed. That's happened in deal after deal after deal.
Yep.
If you want to understand the media business, one of my favorite titles of any business book is Television is the New Television. Michael Wolff wrote that book. And television is still the new television, despite a lot of serious economic headwinds, as you said.
There's no question. I mean, TV has a massive future. I think it's really just a matter of the distribution mechanism and the economics of what that distribution mechanism ultimately looks like, and getting from here to there. You know, it's going to feel, I actually think less so for this entity, but, you know, for a lot of the cable TV business, it's going to feel a little bit like the newspaper business. And there are, you know, there's been a lot of losers, but, you know, you look at the New York Times, my other employer, and there's a lot of success on the other end. And it's just a matter of trying to figure out how you get from one place to the next. And I think this probably puts these channels in a better position to do that.
Yeah, and by the way, I think one of the bigger pieces of news on television / streaming, we've talked about how well Comcast did this summer with the Olympics, but Disney actually turning a profit on streaming, that is like a big breakthrough for this entire venture that has really had a big media focus on how they could do that. CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin, thank you so much for being with us. Greatly appreciate it.